We're now going to deep diver Alex of the Button Mappers to find out what treasure he done dug up in the wild, wild ocean.
I forgot my diver suit, so I have to hold my nose.
Excellent. Well, don't hold it too long because you'll have to tell us about your treasure. Over.
Absolutely. Why do people look for treasure, right? That's the question we've all been asking for years. They look for treasure because they want to become rich. So, my
Well,
game today is about a certain squirrel whose main goal is to also become rich. I played Conker Live and Reloaded, the remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day for the original Xbox. I actually just beat this a couple nights ago, and I'm here to talk about it. Conker's Bad Fur Day, it was a game for the Nintendo 64, released by Rare at the end of the life that Nintendo just kind of left hanging because Nintendo didn't want to promote a game that was as violent and vulgar as Conker's Bad Fur Day was. So didn't really get the marketing that it needed. And whenever Microsoft bought Rare, it was a chance for them to pick up this idea that they had with Conker's Bad Fur Day and kind of revitalize it for a new audience on the original Xbox. Maybe an audience that would appreciate it more on that console, being it's a more mature console. So Conker's Live and Reloaded, story wise, is basically just the exact same as Conker's Bad Fur Day, but with like a few cheeky little nods to the fact that it is a remake. Like some of the characters will reference that they're in a remake sometimes, which is kind of funny. Has like that rare humor. Um, Conker is a squirrel. He is out drinking with his buddies, gets drunk, and gets lost. And the entire game is about him trying to find his way home. And of course, he never does because he always finds himself in weird and wacky predicaments, fighting weird and wacky people, and collecting money, doing jobs for money. So this game will take you everywhere from a giant mountain made of poo to a fucking caveman, like a gladiator arena. It'll take you to Dracula's castle. It'll take you to the fucking beaches of Normandy, and it'll even take you all the way to space. Conquer never gets home. It's a very funny game that at face value looks like it would just be another collectathon platformer like Banjo Kazooie or DK64 was. It's absolutely not, though. Conquer is more about set pieces and sort of just like progressing a narrative. So throughout the game, each set piece will kind of lead you on to the next set piece, and you're supposed to play it in a certain order. So you can't really collect and like run around as you would like to, even though there is some like hidden cache here or there. Really, it's all about the narrative, and I found the game to be really funny. There's some really good moments in this game that I did not see coming. Um, and I've played the N64 version, just so you all know, but I actually have that version. But just replaying it on the Xbox, it's been a minute, so some of the moments still caught me off guard. One of my favorite moments is that there's you have to fight like these little demon guys, and they hop into like a water heater looking thing or like a heater, and it's like stomping around, and you have to smack it in the balls, which is pretty fucking funny. And then once you beat it, its balls fall off, and then you have to use
You muted
detached.
yourself. Oh,
Oh,
never mind. You could stop. You're
I,
good.
okay. So like you knock the balls off this boss, and you have to use the detached balls to solve a puzzle, which is the weirdest thing. But there's all sorts of moments like that. The moment that really got me this time, because the game has like really good looking visuals on the original Xbox. Like I think it's probably one of the best like games visually for the original Xbox. It was released near like I think it was 2005, so it's like right near the end, or 4 or 5. Was the moment that you get to the second to last chapter, it's war, where it becomes a Saving Private Ryan parody. Shit really hits the fan at that point, and like these fucking squirrels are dying left and right, and like it just becomes like an all-out war movie. And there's some moments in that fucking part that I was like, this is fucking brutal. Like I think shit's going down, and I'm just like, I'm not like I'm thinking back at to like the beginning of the beginning of the game where I had to like bring some cheese to a mouse, and now I'm fucking dodging like Nazi teddy bears shooting me in the face. And I'm like, this is horrifying. I love this game. Um, Yeah, I had a fantastic time replaying this on Live Reloaded. Like I said, the visuals are a lot better on this game. The camera control is, and they also fix like the third person aiming because spoilers, halfway through the game it basically becomes a third person shooter. So yeah, so like actually having a second analog stick for that is very nice on this version. I always thought this version was the lesser of the two because people always complained about the censorship in this one because apparently they censored a few more of the curse words than they did on the 64 version. But honestly, I didn't notice it being that bad. Like they always censored the word fuck, but I noticed like there's a couple other words that got censored. But honestly, it makes it a little funnier to me because these characters aren't supposed to be using this language anyway. So whenever they would say something and it was censored, it was still pretty damn funny. So I didn't mind that. So I don't know why people complain about that, why they say it like ruined the game. It's the same goddamn game. Like get over that. It's fine. Um but yeah, I fucking loved Conker's Live and Reloaded. And I'm actually replaying 64 right now just as a nice little comparison.
Hmm.
I'm actually a little bit sad that you picked this game. Not that it's like a rule that we have, but it just seems like it's the way that we talk about it. It's almost like a mini rule. Is I was hoping one day we would do a map out of this.
We've done map outs of game. I did a Resident Evil 4 remake, and then we did a map out of it that month.
That is true.
I
Yeah.
basically did the same thing for The Witcher 3. I picked
So
it. That's my GameStop game.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's always a possibility.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play this, and I thought it would make a really cool map out. So hopefully we
Oh,
get
it would-
to do that.
It'd be
Well, he didn't
hilarious.
pick Per Day. He picked Live and Reloaded, which is like
Yeah.
the remake or something. I
Well,
don't
I'm
know
sure
what you
that's the
call
one
it,
that we
but
would play, though.
I mean, because the Rare Replay one, I'm sure
Right.
looks just as polished.
Yeah,
Do you
I
know,
mean,
Alex?
it's
Yeah.
the rare replay one is a 64 one, but it's been HDified for the collection. But Live Reloaded just looks beautiful. I mean, the game just looks overhauled completely.
Would you say they're strikingly different in terms of visuals?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it looks
Okay.
like leaps and bounds above the original. I kind of wish Rare did this for a lot of their other games at the time. Like I could have seen them doing a Banjo or like a Perfect Dark remake with the Xbox hardware because what they did in this one looked really good. Like you can I don't know if you want to look up screenshots or something or like videos, but it looks really freaking good. And
I'll see you in the thing post.
it's a little confusing why because this is on the backwards compatibility for the Xbox. Why this isn't included in Replay? Like I get that like maybe they just want to include the original, but if it's already backwards compatible, why not just include both?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I didn't even look. I assumed that it was in there. That's disappointing.
No, but like you can buy it separately for like $10. But just weird that like it's weird that you have to do that,
right? Because don't they have like Grab by the Ghoulies in the Replay?
Yeah, Grab by the Ghoulies.
So it's not like they don't have Xbox ones in there. That's
and it's sad because this is the best thing they did for the original Xbox. Grab by the Ghoulies is like a mid game, and then Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo got moved to 360 like last minute, so those became 360 titles. So this is the best game they made for the original Xbox.
That sucks.
Whatever, it's on. You could get it on the same system. So
yeah.
The thing is, though, like Live and Reloaded, I remember seeing magazine screenshots of this back in the day. I was super jealous. Like I never had an Xbox and like the M-rated games. Even before that, one of my like family friends had the cartridge for Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I was a child and he was a child. I don't know how he got it. He didn't have older brothers. But I remember playing scenes like the Matrix scene. It was huge. The curse words, everything. And at the time, like that was just, mind-boggling. I guess there are questions in my mind of like how well could a newcomer adjust to it? But I would address that later in the map out. I guess what I'm interested in is that with the framing of Live and Reloaded, you mentioned the not Band of Brothers. What's the military thing?
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan reference, which seemed like the framing for Live and Reloaded. I know he's on the cover with like a army hat and the getup and a rifle. And I was curious first off if that segment you were talking about was also in the original, and then also how you see that theme present in this game. I know there's multiplayer and stuff, but I'll let you talk about it.
Well, They the that scene is still original and like present and the original title, the Saving Private Ryan reference. The only thing they added in this one was there's a Dracula's Castle part that in the original it wasn't really a reference to anything. It was just like a spooky Dracula's Castle level where you have to like fucking feed this giant vampire bat people, and it's funny. And then in this one they changed Conker's costume to be a Van Helsing reference, which is very 2004. So, so like, but it still plays out the exact same. So I was like, that's weird. But the military theme, yeah, that's still like the most memorable, like probably meatiest like chapter in the game is that chapter. And then also Live and Reloaded had online multiplayer where you played in that like universe and like the military squirrel versus teddy bear universe. So that was sort of like the big push for Live and Reloaded. That was the live part of the game. The live was the Xbox Live. Loaded, Reloaded was the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was sort of the framing. I do wish it wasn't on the cover because I think if you played the original and you only knew like just the black cover with Conker and Barry, you wouldn't see the war section coming because it kind of just throws you off and it's funny. But I get it. Maybe by that point they figured people already knew, what that game had and that it was a remake. So I don't know. It's fine to me, but it is like there thematically. Like even at the beginning of the game, he calls his girlfriend and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late tonight. The boys said they're going off to some war tomorrow or something, and I'm drinking." And that sounds like a throwaway excuse. And like until you get to that segment, you're like, "Holy shit!" Like, I'm at war.
That's awesome. How long is this game?
I beat this one in about 8.5 hours. I think I came in right at 8.5 hours, so it's not bad.
It's not bad.
So there were a few parts that I had to look up things because they don't. There's a couple of mechanics later on in the game that they don't explain very well to you. And then like I got the parts where I got stuck like twice, and I had to actually go on a walkthrough and try to figure out what the hell I was supposed to be doing right now because I was like there was a part in the castle where I had to do that, and there was a part during the war segment where I had to like there's this part where like this big crash plane is in your way, and you have to blow it up. So you go to a bathroom, and this guy comes out of the bathroom, and he doesn't know that he has dynamite strapped to his back. So you have to guide him all the way to that part of the crash plane, and then blow him up to get the crash. Conker's a fucking sociopath, by the way. You have to get and fucking blow up the plane, but I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to get him there. I didn't know what to do, and then I figured out like there's a pushing mechanic that they never explained to you, and I was like, what? Okay, I'm sure. And then I finally figured it out. But like, I was just like, spent a minute like, how do I get this guy over here? Like, I get it. Like, he has to blow up the thing, but how do I do it? So,
Yeah. Do you think that some of the does it feel more like an N64 game or more like an Xbox? I know it's not. It was Xbox, but more like an Xbox 360 game because it was towards like the end, right?
well, the thing was, it was impressive on the N64 anyway because it had like full voice acting and stuff. I think this feels like, I guess Xbox or maybe early 360 game. Honestly, probably early 360 game because the audio is not compressed. It sounds great. They re-recorded the soundtrack with it's like orchestrated now instead of whatever they did for the 64 version. So the soundtrack sounds a lot better. And like mechanically, it feels fine. Like Rare games, I've always sort of transcended time in that way. So I think with the facelift, it really does feel like it could have been like an early 360 game almost.
Wow, it's impressive.
Yeah. So and the humor is like, if I had to compare the humor to anything, it's like it still has that cheeky Rare humor, but the vulgar side of things is almost like early South Park. Like there's moments in this game where you have to like piss on things, which is funny. Like you straight up like have to get drunk and then you walk around just pissing on stuff. And I was like, hell yeah. And then but there's still that like rare humor. Like the main antagonist of the game is this Panther King, and his whole spiel is that he has a table that's missing a leg. So every time he puts his milk on the table, it spills the milk. So his scientist is like, I know how to fix that. We need to put a squirrel under that table to keep it upright. So the whole point is that he wants to find a squirrel to prop up his table so that his milk doesn't spill. And I was like, this is the dumbest premise for a game.
Yeah, that's great.
This is amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Live and Reloaded. So I think people, if you are listening and you want to play this game, and maybe you don't want to, play the rare replay, you could play the original, but maybe you don't want to dish out the money for the N64 version because that game still goes for like 50 $60 sometimes. Live and Reloaded is a fantastic game, and I would just play that. You can get it cheaper.
I did buy a repro within like past year or two for like $20 online. So I mean, there are ways, but it does sound like the definitive way to play Conker. So I mean, I might just even play it just cause.
If you don't care for like a few words being censored, if a couple more swear words are censored, it's basically just a better game. The people online were just fucking upset because I don't know, they censored a couple more swear words. Like whatever.
I play JRPGs. They literally censor everything, so I'm not fazed by it.
Conker. I remember the announcer saying that at one point.
I don't want to spoil the ending because especially if we map it out sometime, because it has a fantastic ending.
Yeah, it sounded very mappable from the way you were describing it.
Yeah, we it'd be easy to map it from like set piece to set piece, basically, because that's basically what the game is. So it'd be like when we're at the Pooh Mountain section, and then we're at the Caveman section.
Yeah.
Button mappers go to Pooh Mountain.
That sounds like a DVD you like get like at a rental store. It's like, I don't know if I want to watch. I guess they don't have Ferris Bueller, so I guess I'll get this one.
This is for the Pornhub month.
Oh, don't ruin my month.
Sorry.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.